Okay, strategic tool number one. Before I begin, I do just want to give you maybe a little tip as you navigate through this. So, consume these one at a time and really try to implement these tools for at least a day or two or whatever the recommended time is because they're different depending on what it is. Some is like a one and done, and some is like something you can continue on for as long as you want. But I know how some of us get super excited about having these new tools or like really ready like to make changes in our lives. And so we pile on all the tips, tricks, procedures, all the things. And a lot of times what that ends up doing is either overwhelming us or hindering us from making the progress that we want because it's too much because we can't do it all at once. So slow roll into this, okay? So strategic tool number one is actually twofold. So this could technically be two, but we're going to give it all here right now. So the first part of this is to take an inventory of your day. So my recommendation is to do this for 2 days straight and really do this very intentionally when you can carve out the time to really monitor this and give it your attention. So essentially, all you're going to be doing is writing down throughout your day how you're spending your time. So 7 to 8, you get ready to walk out the door to go to work or whatever, wherever it is that you go. So break it down even more than that. So how long did you spend? How many times do you press snooze? How long do you spend making lunches? Are you working out? How long does that take? Do you eat breakfast? How long does that take? And really just break it down into smaller chunks so that you can get a really, really clear picture of how you're prioritizing your time. So I do recommend doing this for 2 days because, of course, like for most of us, no 2 days are the same. So that will at least give you kind of a framework. And really, what this is doing, and this is not to like look at it and say, like, oh, how much time am I wasting? That's not the point at all. It's really just to give you a snapshot of how you're spending your time and where there might be some room or some flexibility in your time for you to implement some things that might support your goals. Now, that being said, it's also an opportunity for you to see if you have no time for yourself. If literally every moment of your day is accounted for, that's not ideal. We have to have time to fill our cups, to tend to our vessel. And that has to be a huge priority throughout our day. So if you go through this and you're like, oh my God, like literally every minute is accounted for, I'm going from one thing to the other until it's like time to basically lay my head down to rest. That's something to look at too. What can you eliminate? What can you take away? What can you shift? And just take a look at that. But really, we want to take a good look at this and see kind of where our opportunities are. Like if you look at it and you spent, or look at your screen time report, you spent 2 hours scrolling. Well, that's 2 hours that could probably be better well spent. And I'm not saying that there's not time for downtime. Absolutely, there should be, there needs to be. But just take a look at how much time you might be able to be utilizing better or shifting some things around that would fit better, that would make your schedule flow a little better. So that's part one. After you've done that for 2 days, just take a look at it and go through the list that you've created and simply put a plus or a minus by each thing. So if it is serving you, or if it is something that's necessary, like maybe you don't love making your kids lunches, but it's part of the deal, put a plus by it. If it's something that's like not serving your goals or that you really wish you didn't do, or you could be better spending your time, put a minus by it. And those are where we can kind of clean it up, where those minuses are. So after that, I want you to look at what are the things that you really want to implement in your day? What are the things that you wish you were spending time on, or that are important to you, or that you'd like to prioritize moving forward, or the things that support your goals? So I would recommend choosing 5 to 7 things. And I would look at things like if your goal is to eat healthy, like how are you setting yourself up? Can you set yourself up for success better at night? Is there like a period of time at night that you have some time that you could be prepping for the next day? Or on the weekends, is it an opportunity for you to meal prep for the week? Looking at the actions that are going to support your goals. And then figuring out A, where you can make time for them, and then B, just what they are, like identifying those things. I guess that's A, identifying those things, and then finding where you can make time for them. And then take that list. So, like, for example, this is something I've done. So it's like meditation, working out, hydration, eating healthy, post on social media, because that's important for me and my business to be consistent there. So those are like 5 things that I tracked for a very long time. And I would recommend doing this for at least a month so that you can see, okay, on a weekly basis, I'm doing really good at this and I'm always showing up for this. This is the one that always falls through the cracks. Or on a monthly basis, like, yeah, I started out hot and heavy with that, but by the end of the month, like I don't even know what happened, but I'm definitely not doing it. So this is just going to really frame for you how you're prioritizing your time and whether or not you're prioritizing the things that you think are important and the things that you think are going to help you achieve your goals. So again, we don't do this to like look at how good or bad we're doing. There is no pass or fail. There is no grading system. It is like data. It is just for us to take an inventory so that we have that data that we can work with and make adjustments as needed. And I will say, like, my little 5 things that I just gave to you, that does shift, like, depending on what my month looks like, depending on what my goals look like for that month. But here's a really, really important piece of this puzzle. So please listen to this. After you have each week, after you have marked down, okay, yes, I meditated. No, I didn't. Yes, I ate healthy, whatever. Take the time to look back at that. Take the time to look at it, to process it, to reflect on it. What got in the way? Where did I go wrong? What did I do really well? What can I celebrate? And then set your intentions for the next week. So what can you do better? What can you change? What can you eliminate that might give you some more time or some more focus? And get a clear action plan for the next week. So the reflection and the intention is honestly the most important piece of this, because you could track all day long, but if you don't make time for this step, it's really kind of pointless, honestly, because then it's just data that you're doing nothing with. So take the time, make the time for reflection and intention setting. And that is strategic tool number 1.